What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Everybody in the club. What's up, everybody? Dang, I wonder why. Can we put this under? What's up, boys? Kicks, what up? What up, bro? Good to see you, man. What's good? Hey, we got the haul in today. What else? And we got this one in today. And we got this one in today. Oh, yo, so Kicks, I'm gonna show you the layering tip, bro. So what I always tell people is if black orchid is too feminine for you, you can always, so to me, there's like a scale in this DNA, and it goes Prada Luna Rosa black, Bulgari Man in black, and black orchid, right? That's kind of like the sequence of like soft, dark patchouli, slightly sweet floral, right? And as you go up, it goes more intense. So like Luna Rosa Black is the softest representation of that DNA style. Then Man in Black. Then the most intense form of it is, Black Orchid. So check this combo out. So the combo that I do is I always tell people if you thought Black Orchid was too floral and so it made you feel more feminine for wearing it, you can't go all in with Black Orchid, too sweet, too floral, then I always tell them to scale down and go Bulgari Man in Black, because Bulgari Man in Black to me is Black Orchid without the Black Orchid. Everything else, the patchouli, the cacao, the vetiver, all that, right? So this is Black Orchid without the floral element. Now, if you like Black Orchid, this combo right here is insane. You do all Bulgari, right? You go all Man in Black everywhere. And then you just hit yourself one in the front, one in the back with Zara Man, which is to me the best Black Orchid clone on the market. I actually like this more than Black Orchid EDP. One in the front, one in the back on top of this is insanity. You talk about compliments, you talk about 10, 12 hours of projection. It is crazy, bro. It is crazy. So like for me with Man in Black, I might do 6 to 8 sprays, just gangster, right? 6 to 8 sprays or whatever. And then I'm gonna do one Zara Man in the front and one in the back. You will project and you will have at least a 3 to 4 feet of projection and sillage in a soft way though, surprisingly. It's still soft, but it's there. You'll have about 3 to 4 feet of projection and longevity for at least 8 to 12 hours. Like before you even recognize it come off, you will feel what you feel in the first hour on hour 9, 10, 11, and 12. It is crazy. And the Zara just pushes out Man in Black, because I find Man in Black to be a fragrance where you smell it in front of you and it's got this like dark, sweet patchouli vibe. It's a little bit louder than Rosa Black, but the Black Orchid combo just pushes out the vetiver and patchouli even crazier, and the cacao in a way that's better than just wearing Zara Man by itself. Like Black Orchid with Man in Black under it gives it some nuts. Like it becomes OG as crap. Like, so definitely try that combo. That combo is absolutely filthy. Okay, let me go back through the chat real quick. So, what's up, Deepti? Um, Clutch, what up? Micah, what up? I don't know if you watch my channel, but I make fragrance content as well. I'm a perfumer who's just starting out. Good to know, Micah. Good to meet you, buddy. Nice haul. Thank you, SoCal. My favorite layering combo is something with the Ultra Male DNA and Invictus. Okay, so you're going sweet tropical with metallic aquatic. I could see that. Just a fresher take on a sweeter DNA. Scent of the day, Je peux pour homme EDP. Okay, word. Ferragamo Uomo signature, beautiful. I only smell like soap. Well, that's good. That means you're showering. Hugo Boss bottled EDP. I see you. Hit that thumbs up, baby. 16 people in here, only 5 likes. Hit that thumbs up, and YouTube will flood more people in here to chat with you about fragrance. Incompetent, what's good? Kale, what's good? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, rapper. You may want to consider if the floral note in it is too sweet for you. You might want to throw something mineralic under it. So I would make a recommendation of like oud wood, like a oud wood DNA or a Ganymede DNA to sit under this fragrance, and that'll duff this off. But don't wear the oud wood or Ganymede style DNA under the fragrance. Put the Blanc on like 2-3 sprays, and then do equal parts Ganymede or oud wood over the top of it, and that'll duff out a lot of the powdery floral. I have the same problem when I wear stuff like what's another one that's super floral? I mean, really not even just floral, but like sweetness in general, like Cedrat Essence, the honeydew melon note. If I want to duff that off and give it some more masculine class, you can throw oud wood under that. Another example is if you are messing with Louis Vuitton DNAs, Pacific Chill, Afternoon Swim, Lamentate, and you want to give those citrus DNAs more nuts, you could throw oud wood on top of that, and it'll kind of like just kind of equalize a lot of that like super forward sweetness. Even a fragrance like this is dumb sweet, fig, black tea. I told people to combo this with oud wood and put 2-to-1 ratio. So for every 1 spray of this, you do 2 sprays of oud wood on top of this, and it just completely neutralizes the fig note to where it's like way more subdued. And this was actually like one of the most compliments I got for Thanksgiving last year. I put this on with 2-to-1 oud wood on it and got an insane amount of compliments. So definitely try that with your Musk Therapy clone. To go with something extremely earthy and mineralic, and that will duff off a lot of the floral sweetness. So you don't need oud wood either. If you want to go the cheapy route, you can go woody oud from Maison Alhambra, or you can do, let's see, what else would duff off the powder? Oud wood is like a really safe go-to to duff off any floral sweetness that you want to feel more masculine. You could also go with like a Silver Mountain Water type of DNA. If you want to go like more metallic aquatic to duff it out, you can do that as well. But I find the mineral accord to be the most neutralizing of a sweet floral. This kind of just combines with the floral, whereas like mineralic notes and suede neutralize sweetness altogether. So definitely start with something like oud wood or woody oud and then work your way down. Even this might be a combo as well. Tom Ford Gray Vetiver. That would also, you know, the soapy linen accord would duff that off as well. If you need to go super cheap, then take something like CK Everyone, which is basically a white linen fragrance almost exclusively. You could throw white linen behind the musk to duff it off, and that might actually preserve the fragrance so you don't actually change it. A lot of times with combos, you kind of change the fragrance a little bit. This will duff off Musk Therapy or Royal Blanc without changing the DNA. It will literally just soften that sweetness. And this is probably like a $15 fragrance. So definitely try that. I hope that helps. 90 Pure White Banana Republic. That's another one to throw under it. What do you think of Egoist Chanel? I've been wanting to try Egoist for so long. I only have Platinum Egoist and I wasn't a fan. I'm actually a much bigger fan of Lalique's White. I think this is in the exact same wheelhouse as Platinum Egoist, but this is way more sophisticated and way brighter and better performance, even as an EDT. But a lot of guys that I really respect say that original Egoist is better than Platinum Egoist. So Platinum Egoist is just more popular. So I am going to spin the block on Egoist and try original Egoist and see if I like that. But right now, in that DNA style, Lalique White is very special. Best LV frag, I would probably say, if we're talking true LV and not a clone, I'm really weird, man. I would say probably Meteor or Pacific Chill. Imagination is like an easy answer, but for me, I typically lean on Pacific Chill and Meteor as the more unique fragrances for my taste. What house makes oud wood? Tom Ford makes oud wood. Maison Alhambra makes woody oud. That's the cheap alternative for 20 bucks on Amazon. You can actually get oud wood right now for like $100. Can you combo Blanc with Celestial? You can, but the thing about Celestial is if you were using real Ganymede, it would be so earthy and mineralic that it would do the job of duffing off Royal Oud. The problem with Celestial is Celestial ramps up the violet leaf note, so you get a lot of powder and sweet floral with Celestial. So since the floral component to Royal Blanc is already strong for you, and that's the part that you don't like, you know, the powder and the sweetness from the white florals that are in it, the violet leaf from Celestial will pair with the white leaf and make it sweeter. So I don't think, even though Celestial is cloning Ganymede, Ganymede is missing florals entirely. So that's why I like Celestial. But as far as comboing it, I don't think it'll be a good combo to neutralize the floral. It'll actually enhance it. Yeah, I don't think oud wood is worth the price either, because woody oud exists. And in this case, we're not using oud wood as a standalone fragrance. We're using it as a layering combo. So the components to Royal Blanc will actually hug the oud wood DNA and enhance the projection and performance of it. You won't deal with any performance issues mixing oud wood or woody oud with the Musk Therapy clone. It'll actually increase the performance because Musk Therapy and Royal Oud Blanc in and of itself is like an 8+ hour fragrance for me on my skin, not clothes, but skin. So we're not really having to think through maintaining or increasing performance because it already performs good. We're mainly just trying to neutralize the sweetness. I've heard Rayhan Wood Noir is even better clone of oud wood than Maison Alhambra. Not sure if that's true. I think it might be true, but it's a slightly different twist. If you want true oud wood, you have to go woody oud. Absolutely, Rapper. Anytime, brother. Do you enjoy saffron as a note in fragrance? Absolutely. I mean, Grey Vetiver has saffron. I love what saffron does in a fragrance. It gives this kind of like bright bitter or bright spicy accord to fragrances that's really helpful with green notes and florals, just to kind of give contrast to stuff that's too sweet. Byredo Black Saffron, really good. Yeah, it's pretty good. I've tried it. What an amazing fruity powdery summer fragrance. Hi brother, hope you're having a good night. Have you tried Moscow Mule? Moscow Mule is Maj Mule from Paris Corner, I think, or Fragrance World, one of the two. Yeah, it's really nice. It's like ice water, basically. Ice water and lime. It's almost like Mahir Legacy Silver, but more ice watery and less limey. What's up, Racer? Do you like Side Effect? No. To me, Side Effect is too sweet. In the Initio line, I prefer Musk Therapy, Atomic Rose, even though that's pretty sweet too, to be honest. It's just less dense. Atomic Rose, Oud for Greatness, Musk Therapy, and there's one more that I forget. Wasn't a fan of Paragon. Wasn't a fan of Side Effect. What do you think of Oud Satin Mood? I don't think anything about it. I think this will get the job done. You don't need Oud Satin Mood. Ministry of Oud Satin for $40 is, in my opinion, like 95 to 100% close to Oud Satin Mood. It's exactly Oud Satin Mood. It's just Oud Satin Mood is like a 12-hour plus fragrance. Oud Satin is like a 8 to 10 hour fragrance, but it will stick on your clothes. But as far as DNA and performance and all that stuff, I give it like a 9. The lowest score I give Oud Satin is a 9.5 out of 10. What's a must-have fresh fragrance for spring? Probably Mancera's Vetiver Sensual, Eros EDT. FOMO Fragheads Asylum's a must-have. This is the best Elysium clone that money can buy with great performance. This is an incredible spring-summer classic to me. There's a lot more I would recommend, but Mancera Vetiver Sensual, FOMO Fragheads Asylum, the Eros EDT, those are some affordable bangers for spring-summer. Thoughts on Mancera's Oud Lemon Mint? I like it a lot. I don't like it more than Vetiver Sensual. I don't like it more than Amberful. I don't like it more than Pearl. I don't like it more than Jardin Exclusive, but it is a great fragrance. Best Parfums de Marly is Carlisle. And then in no particular order, Sedley, Leighton Exclusive. I'm not the biggest Herod, Percival, or Caros or whatever fan. I think there's other fragrances in those DNAs that are better. So if I'm recommending Parfums de Marly any day of the week, I would say the only things worth buying is probably Sedley. But even then, I have the best Carlisle clone, which is Maison Alhambra Cassius. I have the best Sedley clone, which is Mahir Legacy Silver. And then you don't need Leighton because, to me, Lalique White and Black is the best Leighton clone, even over Detour Noir. So you don't even need to own Parfums de Marly at all to get all of those DNAs. Yeah, Vetiver Sensual just does something, man. It just radiates off of skin. However, I will say that Amberful is also really special from Mancera, but this is way more special. In terms of uniqueness and signature scent, this absolutely is a lot more signature than Amberful. But to me, Amberful beats out Instant Crush and what's the other one from there that a lot of people get? Instant Crush and Instant Crush, Cedrop Boise, and there's another sweet fragrance from them. What is it? There's another really sweet fragrance from them, but as far as signature spring summer, this is incredible. The cheap stepbrother of this is Bright Leather from Ferragamo. But you know, this is a sleeper of a spring summer, Bentley Momentum Unlimited. If you like Silver Mountain Water, or Bentley Azure, or Club de Nuit Sillage, Club de Nuit Iconic, if you like any of those DNAs, this is far superior. If you like Versace Pour Homme, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue, Bentley Momentum Unlimited is far superior. Eros is nice. Yes, it is. Best first niche. Well, my first niche is going to be the best. There's no picking there. First niche, probably... I don't know. First niche, that's the best. I don't know. I really can't answer that one. I have too many fragrances. I don't know. Yeah, first niche Mancera is really nice because you can get so many of their fragrances for $70 to $80. You know, I think everybody should own Amberful, Vetiver Sensual, Pearl. And then if you're in your 20s, I think that's where you need to transition and have things like Instant Crush. If you're a 20-year-old or down, 29 and down, you need to have some Instant Crush in your life. It's a little too sweet for me, though. Any thoughts you can give to Ombre Noir? I'm excited to get my bottle in. Let me get a test strip. You know, I don't have a full wearing experience with Ombre Noir yet. I did put my nose to it quite a bit yesterday or today. It is awesome. I'm going to try to speak in a way, SoCal, that you can smell this without being here with me. Imagine a much better, more realistic Mancera Red Tobacco. Imagine a much more wet, resinous a la Extreme with like a whiskey drenched over it. Okay, so Encre Noir a la Extreme with a cold, tobaccoed whiskey drenched all over the wood. It's extremely woody, extremely whiskey, extremely tobacco. It's got this kind of like dark liquor accord, which feels very much whiskey. You know, it's warm, spicy. So woody, warm, spicy, whiskey drenched, cooling sensation, and slight bit of tobacco. And the resin kind of translates as a red tobacco variant, but red tobacco smells so synthetic and so sweet. This feels way more masculine. Gosh, this is good. This is good. What up, Jag? Absolutely, SoCal, anytime. What's your opinion on Toy Boy? It's okay. 7 out of 10. If you don't have a lot of fragrances, Toy Boy will be more of like an 8 fragrance out of 10 for you, above average. But it'll get old fast. Hindu Kush is okay, but if you want the best smelling cannabis fragrance, go to the house of Born to Stand Out, all one word, Born to Stand Out, and get a fragrance called Mary Jane. That is the only cannabis fragrance I will recommend. And it smells literally like the most expensive, fresh, non-resinous cannabis you can find. I've been following the channel for a while now. I've decided that you are the most knowledgeable fragrance influencer and my favorite frag influencer. You deserve everything Gent Sense has and more. Appreciate you, Kale. Thank you, buddy. Means a lot. I really appreciate that feedback. SB Joel and Greenlee, the three-headed goat. That's hilarious. Putting my head next to Greenlee and Joel would actually be hilarious. We'd probably look like, you know, a white chocolate wafer infused with Nutella. We would look like Joel and Greenlee would be two sides of a vanilla wafer. You'd have an old white wafer, a young white wafer with some Nutella in the middle. That's a perfect meme. We got to find that. Find a picture of a vanilla wafer with chocolate filling and put our three heads right next to each other, just coddling one another. That would be hilarious. Okay, Indian perfume called, what's up, Manav? Good to see you, buddy. Indian perfume called Agori by M5 is also a recent cannabis launch. Yeah, the thing with a lot of cannabis fragrances you have to watch out for is a lot of them try to render this resinous, what do you call it after you smoke weed and there's stuff still in it? Residue? Is it residue? What's left when you have a bong and you have a little bit left in it? You say, I have not resin left. Is it resin? No. Dang, I forget. A lot of the cannabis fragrances have like this very like leftover weed bite to them. And I don't think you can do that with cannabis-based fragrances. With cannabis, you have to keep it green and fresh and bright. Nobody wants to smell burning cannabis as a fragrance. They want to smell the buds, the leafiness, the earthiness. They don't, it's got to stay fresh and it's got to stay bright and zesty. As soon as you start going into like weed smoke, you completely lose your whole audience. And that's the problem with a lot of weed fragrances is they have this kind of resinous burnt quality to them that is just so undesirable, and it makes it feel like cheap weed basically, you know. So Born to Stand Out's Mary Jane is right now almost impossible to beat because they've nailed the formula and no one's going in that direction. They're all going down the resin category. And so definitely put your nose to Mary Jane and you'll see what I'm talking about. It is just worlds above any cannabis style fragrance. Would you recommend Fragrance Net? My issue with a lot of these companies is shipping, and it's that their deals aren't really deals. They take a margin of like 10 to 15% to 20%, and they basically every other week rotate, and they have different ways of saying the same discount. Buy two, get one free, buy one, get one half off. None of them are ever truly deals. You can always get a code, or it's always, and then on top of that, they're going to slap you with $10 to $15 of shipping. So you pretty much, when it comes to cheapest fragrance prices per bottle and ml, fragrancebuy.ca is going to be really hard to beat. Then from there, every other website is roughly the same pricing with about a $10 to $15 shipping that you really can't avoid. So what I like about Fragrance by CA is once you hit a certain tier, They're always gonna, every other purchase or so, throw in some free shipping, but like I just hit my collector tier with Fragrance by CA, so they gave me 10 free shipping coupons for my next 10 purchases, which is awesome. So, and shipping speed. You know, I'll give you a great example. I ordered Ombre Noir, Linsumi, and Linsumi on Joma, and I waited 1 month and never received the fragrance. So they still charged me in a pending charge. And after 4 weeks, I canceled that order and just said, screw it, got my money back, went to fragrancebuy.ca, and fragrancebuy.ca sent me these two fragrances, which are virtually discontinued, and I got them in 4 days from Canada. So shipping incentives and lowest price per ml of out there, Fragrance by CA is really going to be hard to beat in almost any situation. Yeah, absolutely. I'll check it out, Manav. Okay, Dylan Blue, 9 a.m. dive, pre-show, Mont Blanc Legend, EDP. Okay. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of 9 a.m. dive. Mont Blanc Legend EDP is a classic fragrance, though I think it's quite a bit dated. I think you might find Mont Blanc Legend Blue or Mont Blanc Legend Spirit to be better. If you want the more interesting fragrance with an accord of spearmint, like a cooling blue spearmint, go with Mont Blanc Legend Spirit Blue. If you want more of like a universal everyday, slightly unique fresh fragrance, you'll go with Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. To me, the Spirit white bottle and blue far outweigh Legend EDP. Legend EDP is just kind of like if you don't have a lot of bottles of fragrance, it'll come off decent, but it's way more synthetic than those other two. So I don't know. That's just my take. 9 a.m. is okay, but not special. Per show is special. Dylan Blue is special as well. Have you tried Mancera's Saharian Wind? I haven't, bro. I haven't. I might have to get my nose on that, Kicks. I might have to get my nose on that, bro. I want to get my nose on Ferragamo's Aqua Essential. Yeah, it's a great blue. In fact, most people say it's one of the best blues out there. Top 5 designer blues. So I got to get my nose on it as well for the channel. I see it a lot. I've got great blues in my collection, so I don't feel the urgency to pick that up right now. But that will be my next Ferragamo purchase. And matter of fact, I might, when I go purchase my Ferragamo fragrances, especially since Kix was on this today, I'll probably wind up getting Red Leather and Aqua Essential or whatever as my next Ferragamo pickups. Because I've already got Uomo Signature, Bright Leather, F Black, you know. So those will definitely be my next ones. Kix somehow convinced me to get into Red Leather. So I normally, because I'm traumatized by Mancera's Red Tobacco, I'm kind of traumatized by anything that has the word red in it. But then I had Prada Luna Rosa Le Parfum Red bottle, and that revived an interest for me in Red Tobacco as a DNA. To me, it's way better than Red Tobacco. It's what Red Tobacco should have been. This even has a Red Tobacco feel, the Ombre Noir from Lalique, but it's more of a whiskey drenched wood with some resinous quality to it and some really ashy tobacco. This is, man, Lalique continues to impress me with their DNAs, man. That chick is special. She is a gem in perfumery. Even if I don't like a Lalique fragrance, I can always trust that it's going to be a highly sophisticated 25-year-old and up fragrance that I should be considering. Even Bentley does the same thing. Even if I'm not the biggest fan of something, I highly respect the DNA and the age group of fragrance. Like, they make fragrances perfect for 25 to 50-year-old men. It's just across the board, gentlemanly, unique, all the stuff that a man's man likes. You know, the outdoors, herbals, aromatics, resins, woods, citruses, you know, florals, tea. They just have it all, and they cover the whole freaking gambit. My girlfriend loves Cremo, Spice, and Black Vanilla. A lot of men love Cremo, Spice, and Black Vanilla. I'm thinking about getting the actual Spice Bomb Extreme. I don't think you should get that, Jag. I think you should save your money, buddy. Get this right here. Odyssey Ohm Black Edition. You'll scratch your Spice Bomb Extreme fix, and you'll even get a little bit of Spice Bomb Infrared in there. And for 20 bucks, this is one of the best clones of all time. Residue is correct. No personal experience, though. Yeah. Fragrance is good, but it's always good to shop. Oh, Fragrance Net is good, but it's always, to me, Fragrance Net, Sloma Shop, as Joel told me. Fragrance Net, Sloma Shop, Max Aroma, all those sites, they're all the same to me. Micro Perfumes, they're all the same to me. They all are pretty much within the same window of price to ML and shipping. Fragrance by CA is notably cheaper all around, from the shipping to the incentives to the price per bottle, than any other place. When we talk decants, it's a different story. But as far as bottle buying, you know, I'm always purchasing 95% of my fragrances from Fragrance by CA. And especially since they just threw me 10 free shipping codes. I mean, it's a no-brainer. Yeah, yeah. Born to Stand Out, Drunken Maple is fire. I need to try that. I was just telling people to try Born to Stand Out's Mary Jane if they're into cannabis. But Born to Stand Out has a lot of... That's the next sample kit I'm going to buy, is a Born to Stand Out sample kit. What's up, Fendi? Good to see you, buddy. Agree, Scent Bubble. Fragrance Buy is the best I've experienced, too. And it's amazing because they're from Canada, but their shipping beats everybody. You might not know what's going on for the first 2 or 3 days until it passes through customs. But as soon as that shipping, as soon as you see the USPS tracking, you're getting your fragrance within 3 to 4 days every single time. The max I've ever waited for Fragrance by CA fragrances is like 4 or 5 business days. I bought Mont Blanc Explorer on Joma about 3 weeks ago, and since smelled it and I didn't really like it. I'm considering just canceling at this point. I would, man. If you want a Mont Blanc fragrance, go with Presence if you're looking for business. Mont Blanc Presence for business. Go with Mont Blanc Legend Spirit Blue if you want a minty blue fragrance. Go with Mont Blanc Legend Spirit White Bottle if you want something Dylan Blue-esque, but a little bit cleaner. And all 3 of those are less synthetic than the rest of the Mont Blanc line. My girl ordered off Sephora, and they gave her a 10 ml of 1 million as a free gift, so I got a pretty decent-sized decant of 1 million. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you go to Sephora or Ulta Beauty during the holidays, you can buy a bag like this for 25 bucks, and it'll come with 16, 7 to... it'll come with about 15 to 16 2-3 ml decants of the top 16 most sold designer fragrances in that store. They sell one of these bags for men and women, and so you could try all the fragrances. And if you like any of the fragrances, this is a women's one. The man one comes with a shower, like an electric razor bag. Try all of them, and if you like any of them, there's a $15 gift card to use that. If you buy a full bottle or a half bottle of any fragrance from the samples from Sephora or Ulta Beauty, they'll give you $15 off of it. So like there was a steal going on for a short period of time last year from November to December through January actually, where they had Oud Mineral from Tom Ford in the sample kit. You could get 16 2 to 3 ml samples of all the major designers including Tom Ford Oud Mineral, and then you could cash in the $15 gift card to basically get Oud Mineral for like $90 for 100 ml, which was like insane. So I'm not the most biggest fan of Oud Mineral, but for $90, you can paint me pink and call me Susie. I'm getting that deal any day of the week. Does Fragrance Buy charge you in USD once you pay? Yes. So once you pay, they'll convert the CAD currency to USD, which is why when you're on Fragrance Buy, you can actually hit the currency change to see the prices in USD. But then when you get charged, it'll show up as CAD. But then once you hit pay, it'll reconvert it to USD so that your bank statement reflects a USD charge. But if you ever want to know exactly how much you'll pay for a fragrance, there's a box in the corner of the page where you could switch it to USD and it'll total everything out in CAD and in USD. Oh, thank you, Kix. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I need to update my since we last spoke, there's about 25 new fragrances on my Fragrantica. So if you want to try any mind games, I can hook you up there. I've got Lalique's whole line in. I've got Bentley's whole line in. And I've got some other niche stuff. More than happy to. I need to update my page for you. If you want anything, I'm more than happy to ship some stuff out to you. I'm not a big fan of Sauvage DNA. Yeah, me either. Vetiver Sensual for 75 on there. There you go. You cannot beat that. 120 ml for $75. Vetiver Sensual, top 2 best vetiver fragrances of all time. Yeah, don't worry about it. Once you hit buy, it'll switch it to USD. It's just showing CAD from a visual standpoint. When you hit buy, they have to convert it to USD to even charge your bank. So just trust me. Trust the process. Yeah, let me know what you think about it, SoCal. Pick one fragrance for work. Fakar, Club de Nuit, Urban Man, or Mahir Legacy Silver. That's easy. Silver. Urban Man and Fakar are way too loud and projective for work. You'll get fired. What's up, Steps? What's Mahir Legacy Silver like? It's like Parfums de Marly Sedley, just a little bit more metallic and a little less fresh. In the same way that like Club de Nuit Iconic is a little less fresh, a little bit more metallic of Bleu de Chanel, Mahir Legacy Silver is a little bit more metallic, a little bit less fresh than Sedley, but it's still like 95% close, and it outperforms it in the same way that Iconic outperforms Bleu de Chanel, EDP, and Parfum. Have you tried Spice Bomb Infrared? Yes. And to me, Armaf Odyssey Homme Black is a perfect combo of Spice Bomb Extreme and Spice Bomb Infrared. So if you like Infrared and you like Spice Bomb Extreme, get this for 20 bucks and forget the name Victor and Rolf altogether. Anyone know what Ardal Zafran is like? Yeah, there's a lot of like low-key bangers from Ardal Zafran. The only fragrance I advocate for right now from Ard is Sahib Intense. This is about a 70 ml. And to me, this is the best Imagination clone. It's the most dense, it's the most complicated, and it's the most long-lasting. Sahib Intense, the white bottle. So look that up online from Ardal Zafran. They've got Oud 24 Hours. They've got a couple of fragrances, but to be quite honest, this one's the only one I tell people to buy as of right now. Have you tried the new Angel Share? No. You know, ever since I bought Fire Your Desire from Amir, I'm not interested in Angel Share anymore. This is the best Angel Share clone to me. Even though Gator sent me French Avenue's Royal Blend Nero, And that is really, really, really just as close as this, but this has the cognac note. French Avenue's Royal Nero, or I don't know what the heck it's called. Royal Blend Nero, I think. That smells like Angel Share without the cognac. This smells like Angel Share with the cognac. But ever since I got that, I've never been interested in Angel Share anymore because that's close enough for me. How do you get the free shipping code from Fragrance Buy? You buy fragrances. If you buy more than 4 or 5 bottles, you automatically get free shipping, but you have to be buying on Fragrance Buy for a while to get a bunch of free shipping codes. And also, if it's your birthday, you know, you're on your birthday, you get either $5 off or free shipping as well. I found a good clone of Stronger With You Intensely. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, there's actually really good TJ Maxx clones of Stronger With You and Stronger With You Intensely. It's called like Better With You and Better With You Intensely. They're like $13 clones and they fully satisfy. 90+%, great performance. They both really well get the DNA down. Ever since I saw those, I was like, I'm never buying Stronger With You ever. And I have Stronger With You in the corner in a decant just to verify those clones, and they're spot on. When I send you Yaman Lail, I'll throw in a 2 ml of BTSO Naked Laundry. Nice. Thank you. Anyone who sends samples to me to review for the channel, you will get completely shouted out on any episode of any fragrance I review. Even if you sent me 10 fragrances, you will get referenced and shouted out on 10 episodes. So I really appreciate anyone who hooks up samples for review. Fragrance by CA have better prices. Absolutely. I get all my colognes at Meyer David Jones at the chemist. Interesting. How much performance do you get with Fire Your Desire? It's a good question. I typically get like 6 to 8 hours without even trying. You know, like if I spray this 6 times, I would say you probably get an hour of performance per spray. You know, if you want 10 hours, you need 10 sprays. If you want 8 hours, you need 8 sprays. But a fragrance like this, you have to put it on skin. Spraying it on your clothes reduces the fragrance in half. So 1 spray is now 30 minutes, 2 sprays is an hour, and so on. So get it on skin, you know, your neck, your arms, your pulse points. But it's a very good performer, slightly above average. What are your thoughts on 1 Million Elixir? It's an amazing fragrance. I hate it. Too sweet for me. Too sweet. Spicy spices and vanilla don't cut it for me as much anymore. I have 2 go-to DNAs for that, Lamal Elixir and Halloween Man Shot, and everything else is just redundant for me. But everybody universally loves 1 Million Elixir, 1 Million Royal, and 1 Million Lucky. So I'm not hating on them at all. They're worth buying. They're not worth me buying. I think Old Fashioned is slightly better. Well, Old Fashioned's really good. I wouldn't hate on that commentary. Is Kamara Kawa better than Kamara? 100%. 100%, but I'm going to be honest. The only difference between Kamara and Kawa is Kawa adds caramel latte. People say coffee. It's not a coffee note, even though it's listed as a coffee note. The accord you will smell is a caramel latte. It's a milky, more dense caramelization of coffee, more than black coffee. You will not get a black coffee note. It will smell like a warm, slight spicy caramel latte on top of your Kawa DNA. But because of that, there's a 10 to 15% reduction in sweetness, which I actually appreciate because Kawa or because Camera Original is so dang sweet that it's only a holiday fragrance to me. Whereas Kawa dials it back and you can multi-rock it any holiday, coffee shops, cold weather, by a fire, stuff like that. But that's the only added note to it. You're not going to get any other dimension to it. So just think caramel latte on top of Kawa DNA. That's Kawa. If you're not interested in that slight nuance, then it's redundant to get it. Thankfully for me, I've smelled Kawa or Camera everywhere else, so I've never bought Camera. I've only just smelled it straight out of the bottle, and I'm glad anyone who doesn't have Camera Original, if you get Kawa right off the bat, you'll never need to get Camera. But if you have Camera and you want something slightly less sweet and a little bit more interesting, you kind of have to get Kawa. But Kawa's a season-specific fragrance. Are Lalique White and Lalique White and Black clones? Yes and no. It's a designer house, so on paper, they are not clones. They are designer fragrances. But Lalique White and Black, it smells exactly like Leighton from Parfums de Marly, but slightly fresher. It's spot on. It's sick close to Leighton. Better than Detour Noir, in my opinion. Lalique White, nothing smells like it. Lalique White, to me, is what Platinum Egoise and Egoise should have been. This is the ultimate soapy, clean linen gentleman fragrance. It smells like the color white, but way more interesting. This has a little bit of peppery spice in the smoothest way possible, in the background of a heavy amount of like a bar soap, a clean linen, and then drenched all around it is like a little bit of pepper spice, a little bit of green, and a little bit of bergamot citrus. Just the littlest bit. Very, very masculine. As far as your clean everyday grab, like I like to spray this in the air. I like to spray this in the air and just smell it. It is such, like when we talk clean, fresh, this beats out everything. Banana Republic 90 Pure White, Vintage Green 78, Calvin Klein Everyone, Coach Open Road, all your clean fragrances, CK1, Risasi Hawass, Nautica Voyages, Linen Vetiver, Cypress Cedar, this has a very Tom Ford Gray Vetiver quality to it, but it's a different direction. Like it gives you the same expensive clean soap feel as Gray Vetiver, but it's dressed up in more spices, tamarind, white pepper, green. It's a special fragrance. It's an EDT, so you really have to cake it on, but this is one of the best buys of all time for me in the designer category. How much longer are we going to be here? I'm going to be back. I'm going to be here for like another 5 minutes, guys. Gosh, this one's good too. Lalique Pour Homme. Sick. My Equus is coming tomorrow, and I'm going to do what you said and spray it like 15 times in the air. Yeah, bro, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. You have to. You have to spray it at least 10 times in the air because it is so like quietly rich. There's so much amber over top of it that you have to get it out in the air to like really appreciate the citrus and the vetiver because it's just so amber heavy. But once it's out in the air, man, it's rich. It's really nice, man. For the price, it's just so nice. Would you say Lalique White beats out LV Imagination as a freshie? No, it doesn't. The thing is, man, is you can't compare those two because I know you, in your mind, you want to say that LV Imagination is a freshie, but it's really not. When I say freshie, I mean stuff that reminds you of somebody who just got out of the shower. Imagination doesn't smell like that. Imagination is a citrus basket by the water. It gives you vibes of being in the sand, playing volleyball, swimming, surfing, maybe being in a hotel, you know, ordering drinks or being out by the pool or a yacht or a party, right? Lalique White is not that category. Lalique is literally you get out of the shower and you go to work. You get out of the shower and run errands. Imagination is dressed up to be more sweet, more I would call imagination a freshie with luxury charm. And the luxury charm nuance that it has is kind of like sweetness and sophistication from many fruits. Okay? This is primarily a fresh linen, fresh soap feel, right? So that's how they're different. One is like citrus freshness and sweetness and sophistication. This one is linen and clean bar soap freshness dressed in warm spices, tamarind, smooth pepper. It's like purely clean with like earthy elements to dress it up. LV uses all of this sweet and citric and ambery touch to make it feel more like poolside, vacation. This is go to work, run errands, and smell like the cleanest. And the sophistication is in its earthy touches. The sophistication in LV is its tropical touches. So even though we would kind of classify them both as freshies, they're both in two completely different freshie categories. LV's like fresh vacation, fresh tropical, not tropical, but fresh citric, hotel-y vibes. Lalique White is like an everyday, ultra masculine, earthy, but super bright fragrance. Again, it smells like the word white. Very clean, very soapy, but then all these really interesting touches of spices and green notes that smell so naturally fresh. This is the best the earth has to offer. If you grounded up every rare element in the earth, the air, the ground, the greenery, the spices from the earth, and you threw it all into one bright, vibrant, rich fragrance, you would get this. Man, I be dropping bars sometimes on here. My Equus is coming tomorrow, and I'm going to do what you said. Yeah, you're going to enjoy it, man. I have a bundle with Ombre Nomad dupe as well. Nice. Does Lalique White have good performance? Sadly, no. With Lalique White, it's a eau de toilette. I personally, I have to keep it real with you guys. You know, when you're dealing with fresh fragrances, most fresh fragrances struggle with performance if they don't have vanilla in them. That's just the reality of the situation. So if we're dealing with citruses and woods and vetivers and linens and stuff like that, you're now in the 8 hours or less category. And typically with more affordable designers, if it's an eau de toilette or even an EDP, you're going to struggle with performance. So for me, with Lalique White, I'll hit myself with 10 sprays in the morning. And when I get off work, I might have to hit myself with another 2 to 4 sprays if I want to keep it going. But at 10 sprays will get me through work, no problem. But again, you know, you're going to run into this issue, guys. When you're dealing with fresh fragrances, you're going to spray more. And what really matters is less about performance and more about the incredibleness of the DNA. If the DNA is incredible, I'm fine with less performance you can always get performance. Like if a fragrance only lasts 2 hours, you just keep spraying it. If there's some DNAs where I will justify, hey, I'll keep spraying it. I don't care. The DNA is so nice. Equus is another example of that. You might only get 4 to 6 hours out of Equus, but the fragrance smells so freaking good, you're gonna want to spray it a second time to have another round of that opening. That's another aspect people don't talk about. Fragrances have openings and dry downs. So the first hour or two of projection of a fragrance, once the fragrance sits down, it smells like something else. So sometimes with underperforming fragrances, it's a good thing to roll with a travel spray and re-spritz midday, because then you get all the beauty of that first hour or two of performance again. Some people who are kind of sissy sprayers, or they want to just be able to spray themselves one time in the morning and call it a day. Listen, I totally understand, but you're going to miss out on so many amazing DNAs just because you're being a stickler about performance. If the fragrance is amazing, you got to fight to wear it, you know. And in the freshy category, most accords and DNAs are going to be performing less than 8 hours. So unless you just have one event or something and you only want to spray it once, if you want to go for the back half of the day, you're going to have to reapply in some shape or form. Now, not that there's some fragrances that go beyond that. You know, Mahir Legacy Silver is a 10+ hour fragrance and it's a freshie with charm. Club de Nuit Iconic is a freshie with charm, but to get the performance out of those, they're adding a lot of synthetics, you know, olibanum, benzoin, you know, metallics, to really let that stuff sit on the skin. But there's things that you can do. You know, you can apply lotion before you put the fragrance on, unscented lotion, cake the sprays on. You can, with freshy fragrances, I find that to really get them to push, you cannot spray your clothes. So if you're wearing a freshy fragrance, get all of the juice on your skin and you will maximize the performance. Now, if you're colored, you have darker skin, you will absorb more of a fresh fragrance more into your skin. So you will get to skin scent quicker than someone with fair skin. So in that case, you might want to put on some unscented lotion when you're going to put on a fresh fragrance if you really want it to push, but you still do have to wear it on skin over clothes, because when air wafts through your clothing, it's taking the fragrance with it and running out the door. So, you know, those are just some things you can be mindful about. Okay. Absolutely, Kicks. Thank you, bro. I really appreciate it. I'm convinced in buying Vetiver Sensual, I just hope it's a good performer. Dude, you will not struggle with performance. The only thing I tell people about Vetiver Sensual is um, you have to be a vetiver lover. Out of all of the vetiver fragrances, this is the most commercial to me outside of maybe Terre de Hermes, but you still have to be a vetiver lover. If you don't know what vetiver smells like, if you don't have any experience with vetiver fragrances at all, and you go to buy this, it's still going to smell good, but it's not going to blow your socks off. You have to be a vetiver lover if you want this. And I tell people this all the time, and Kix can probably relate to this, because I believe, and quote, correct me if I'm wrong, Kix, I think Kix is not the biggest vetiver fan. And so I think there's some reasons to that. So when you guys see me talk about vetiver, I'm talking about mostly fragrances that are vetiver forward, meaning the star of the show in the fragrance is the vetiver. Okay. But for somebody who's never smelled vetiver before, I would never recommend my powerhouse of vetiver fragrances, including Vetiver Sensual, because if you're not familiar with the different renderings of vetiver, with Kix, he experienced fragrances that smell hay-like, which a rendering of vetiver can smell like hay and straw. Not all the time and not in most cases, but it can. And so it really matters which fragrance you choose. Now, if I'm trying to get somebody into vetiver who's never been in it to get them the most beautiful renderings, I'm not going to recommend vetiver forward fragrances. I'm going to recommend supporting role vetiver fragrances. That is, fragrances where vetiver is in the base or in the heart as a supporting role fragrance where the star of the show is something else. Because no matter what style of vetiver you render. Soapy, clean, inky, earthy, green, woody. No matter what the rendering of vetiver is, if vetiver is a supporting role in a fragrance, it will always take a DNA and sophisticate it, okay? The sophistication can go many directions, but universally, all vetiver accords as a supporting role sophisticate a fragrance. And I'll show you a couple of examples. Elysium, Elysium, which is one of the best freshies with charm, has a base of amber and vetiver. Without the vetiver, it would just be a bright, slightly sweet, aquatic citrus basket of a smell. The vetiver grounds it in this kind of woody, earthy base, which makes it feel more masculine and can go higher in age bracket. And that's why so many older men love it, because they get a very youthful citrus medley feel with a very masculine nuts to the fragrance provided by the woody vetiver green base. That's a fragrance I would recommend to somebody who's never smelled vetiver before, because they can kind of wrap their nose around vetiver, but the vetiver is a supporting role to a dominantly citric forward fragrance. Another example of this might be Millesime Imperial. Millesime Imperial is what they would call red fruits, which renders as kind of a warm, ambery, wine reduction, watermelon accord. But that's the star of the show. And then behind that, you have vetiver and amber as a base, really allowing the fragrance to have a luxurious, masculine nuts to it. And that's another vetiver-ish fragrance that I would recommend. You know, and there's a lot of fragrance like this. Aventus Absolute. You know, the star of the show is pineapple and lemon. And in the base, you have birch, you have cedar, you have oak moss, and you have vetiver. You know, so if you're new to vetiver, you want to start out with fragrances with vetiver as a supporting role in the base or in the heart. And then once I figure out which fragrances you like from those offerings, then I can push you into the direction of vetiver forward fragrances. And that's all of the fragrances I have in my collection. I definitely have some supporting role vetivers, but I am such a vetiver lover that most of my vetiver selection is vetiver dominant renderings. Inky, earthy, green, all of the above, woody, etc. So that's why I have fragrances like Lalique, Ancre Noir, Ancre Noir Sport, Ancre Noir à la Extrême, Vetiver Sensual, Tom Ford Grey Vetiver. These are fragrances that are superiorly, dominantly vetiver forward, and vetiver is the star of the show. And that's because I know how they'll be rendered, and I pick the highest renderings of them. There's a lot of vetiver forward fragrances that absolutely suck, and you do get that hay feel. One of the most notable ones is Chanel Sycamore. You can also get a hay-like vibe somewhat from some of the other offerings. Yeah, so just going balls deep into vetiver forward fragrances, I think, is a mistake, because there's not a lot of those offerings that are really special, I think. But to vetiver lovers, we love it all no matter what. It's almost like you can't do wrong. Because even something like a la Extreme does have a hay-like quality to it. However, it also has a burnt wood, resinous, warm vibe to it. And even though I might not wear this exclusively by itself, you'll realize really quickly that this is one of the best layering fragrances of all time, because anytime you have a fragrance that's too fruity or too floral and just kind of sits in a citric realm or a floral realm, or a green realm, and you want to give it some nuts in the same way that, like, if Aventus Absolute didn't have birch and cedar and oak moss and vetiver in the base, it would just smell like nitro black or something. This, when you put it under, you know, fruit forward, floral forward, etc., green forward fragrances, it highly masculinates a fragrance and adds 5 or 10 years to the fragrance and the sophistication. So even though I might not recommend this to an individual as an individual wear, minus guys like SoCal who just loves dry woods, this is still an essential component to anybody's collection, because anytime you feel like a fragrance is too feminine or too light, you can put woody vetiver under it, and now it becomes a whole different fragrance. It transforms into a highly masculine, highly sophisticated fragrance. But it's not the fragrance I'm just going around blind recommending to anybody who says, hey, what's a great vetiver fragrance, even though it's a great vetiver fragrance. Bulgari Man in Black is another fragrance that has a supportive role of vetiver and patchouli in the base. So this is another recommendation to wrap somebody's mind around vetiver that would be highly pleasing to them. You know, the star of the show in this is a mix between florals, spices, and patchouli, you know, and sweetness. And I believe cacao to some extent. That definitely gets rendered in here as well. But has a very nice wave of supportive vetiver under it to sophisticate it, to give it push, to increase the projection. You know, another classic supportive role vetiver fragrance is Acqua di Gio Armani, patchouli and vetiver in the base. And that's what gives the marine aquatic DNA the, even with Profumo, the smoky, incensey push. Really, without the vetiver and patchouli, you wouldn't even recognize the marine note or the incense note without the way that the woody vetiver and patchouli come in and exfoliate the marine note. So this is another DNA that without vetiver would be essentially, you know, like a lemon bergamot aquatic with no nuts. I know that was super long-winded. I probably ran up, didn't see the chat. Altair versus Wajan versus Angel Share. Wajan any day of the week. Scent Bubble said 5 minutes. We all know that means another 30. You sound like my wife. You sound like my wife. Get the heck off here, Jag. You must be working with my wife. She would have said the same thing. You know, I'll tell my wife, yeah, I'll be back in an hour. She'll be like, I'll see you tomorrow. Greenlee versus Sedley versus Percival. Sedley. In this order, Sedley, Percival, Greenlee. And most people politically would say Percival, Sedley, Greenlee. Bro's convincing me to get Lalique White. Get it. Especially if you're Middle Eastern at all. Like if you're from, you know, United Arab Emirates, India, you know, anything in that realm, you will love Lalique White. Lalique needs to pay you royalties. They really do. If Lalique came to me and gave me one of everything I already have, since I have the entire line, I would give it away to my entire audience. I would do a top 10 power ranking, and then I would give away all 10 of those fragrances to the community. I don't know, I may even like do like 10 gift sets of travel sprays from every fragrance from the line. That might be more cool. You know, give away 10 5 ml travel spray discovery set of my top 10 power ranking of Lalique, and give that discovery set to 10 people on the channel. That might be more fun than giving away 10 bottles to one person. What's a good designer frag to pick up on the cheaper side for spring, summer right now? I mean, anything. Equus, Club de Nuit Iconic, Lalique Equus, Club de Nuit Milestone, Off Non-Supremacy, Off Non-Supremacy in Heaven, Tarathi Blue, Valencia Uomo Intense, Bentley Momentum Unlimited, Ferragamo Bright Leather, Bentley Black Edition, Halloween Man EDT. Try any of those. Am I cooked for having no niche fragrances? No. Niche fragrances are expensive. You should never blind buy them. You need to go try them. And a lot of people don't have access to be able to try niche, so they'll never buy niche. I just got Chanel Allure Homme Sport. That's nice. It's a good pick. It's a good pick. Chanel Allure Homme Sport. Can't go wrong. See y'all later. See you, Greenlee. French Riviera versus Vetiver Sensual. If you're 29 and under, French Riviera. If you're 30 and up, Vetiver Sensual. Colder, but I wear Elixir all year round. Just go lighter on the sprays. Yeah, true. Yeah, there's a bunch of different renderings of vetiver. I jumped straight into vetiver with Phaton. The Terre d'Hermes clone is my first vetiver. You know, honestly, even though Terre d'Hermes is vetiver forward, it's one of the most commercial renderings of vetiver out there because it's got such a heavy orange and grapefruit note. So even though to frag heads, that's a vetiver forward fragrance, it's still one of the less vetiver forward fragrances out of offerings like, you know, Ancre Noir and most of the Lalique line and Vetiver Sensual and stuff like that. It's more fruity. So, you know, Phaton is Terre d'Hermes to a T. So I don't think, you know, but then again, you know, you like woods and stuff like that. So it's likely if you like woods, then you'll like greenery in the combination. Because essentially to me, vetiver is woodiness and greenery and rendered fresh and dark. So it's like a scale, woody to green. And so it fits somewhere on that scale. And then vertically, it's bright or dark. So you can be closer to green and go bright green, something like Tom Ford Gray Vetiver. You can go closer to wood and dark or woody bright. So woody bright would be like Lalique White. Woody dark would be something like a la Extreme. Somewhere in the middle between wood and green. Bright would be like Terre d'Hermes. In the middle but dark would be something like Jimmy Choo Man or you know, Bulgari Man in Black, stuff like that. Vetiver Sensual sits on the green bright. I need to visualize this stuff to people.